Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Pulse of the Ring. And with me today, I have the one and only Travis3000. How are you
You're
doing today, my friend?
I'm feeling great. The weather is nice outside. Enjoying this outside weather while we're talking. So it feels good today. Feel good.
Uh, I just got done maybe 30 minutes ago mowing my lawn and
Ooh.
took it like an hour and a half to do. Whew. I'm about to start hiring my nephew because I can't do this anymore.
Hey, listen, put the kids to work.
Yep, he be
Put
asking for money and everything.
it-
Um, First and foremost, I want to thank you for being on the show. I know you probably have a busy schedule. Plus, it's the weekend, so I don't know what shows you got today, tomorrow, and on Sunday. But I want to ask, and I asked this to everybody when we first talked, how did you get into professional wrestling?
Okay, so for me, I have a couple stories. The main one is that when I was younger, this is just like tonight. It's a Friday night. At the time, my dad always did. My parents always did movie nights. Occasionally, when we didn't have school the next day.
Mm-hmm.
So this particular time they're watching a movie that I wasn't old enough to watch it. It was either PG-13 or rated R, one of the two. But they were watching that downstairs with my older brother. So my dad took me to my room and said, you go upstairs, watch TV, play the game, whatever, do what you want. So I go upstairs and as I'm clicking through the channels on the TV, I had one of those big box
Yeah,
TVs,
yeah,
one of
yeah. I
the
know what
big
you're talking
old ones
about.
in my room. As I'm clicking through the channels, I come across Rey Mysterio and Booker T. And it's like, yeah, I later understood, as I became a performer, that they were in the back half of the match where Rey Mysterio is really starting to fly
Mm-hmm.
around and do all the really really cool Rey Mysterio stuff. So like that stuck me there. And every night after that, around that same time, I'm clicking through the channels just to see where the stuff is again.
Yeah.
Um, so that's the first story. The second one is, and I know I'm gonna sound old when I say this. Um, my brother had a VHS tape. It was the Rock. It was the Rock's shoe with the corporation on it. And yeah, and I'm snooping through his room, being a little brother.
Yeah.
Through his room, I was like, "What's this?" I put in the VHS tape, and it's the Rock. Like I said, the Rock's shoe with the corporation. That's when he had the cast on his hand and shaming man and all that. That was another one, but for me, that one was more so, when his music hit on the tape. I'm like, why are all these? They must really like this guy. They're going ballistic. They got signs. They got signs with his eyebrow on it,
Mm-hmm.
going up and down. So I'm like, they really must love this guy because like those are that's what brought me into wrestling. Those two,
I I tell people all the time because when people would ask me, it's like I honestly don't know when I started watching wrestling because it's been over damn near 30 years that I've been
mm-hmm.
watching wrestling. And I'm like, all the only thing that I remember is when Shawn Michaels super kicked Bret Hart when he was in the wheelchair. That's the
Well,
first memory that I like can think of when I think of professional wrestling. And then what made me want to pursue wrestling, which now or once I started wrestling, I was like, this is the dumbest thing that made me want to pursue wrestling was when the Undertaker threw Mankind off of Hell in a Cell. It's like I want to do that. And I was like, now that I'm older, I'm like, that out of all things, that's
yeah.
what made you want to become a wrestler. What about you? Was it when you saw The Rock, did that make you want to become a wrestler? Or when did you want like decide this is what I want to do?
So WrestleMania 27 was here in Atlanta, at the Georgia Dome. Rest in peace, Georgia Dome. But that was here in Atlanta, and just so happened to my mom got me some tickets. Me and the coincidentally the
Mm-hmm.
same older brother's VHS tape I took,
Yeah.
or not took, but I snuck in to watch. He ended up taking me to WrestleMania 27, and that was my first show, first time ever live in person at a wrestling show. Period.
Wow.
With
That's a
mind
good
you,
start.
yeah, mind you, we were way up in the cheap seats. We weren't on the floor paying $10,000, but we were way up in the cheap seats on level 300. We still felt Kane's heat when he came out. But ever since then, I believe that's when I locked in after that, like seeing it in person
Mm-hmm.
and seeing how they actually do things. TV is one thing, you got the camera cut, and you got, they're going to JR and Jim Ross for 2 seconds, then they're going back to the action.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing it all with my own eyes locked in on the ring, I believe that's when I decided that I wanted to do it.
Yeah. Like I can't putting into words like being able to be in the ring, but then also having WrestleMania be your first show was nuts. Like my first show, I believe, was either a house show or Sunday Night Heat. I think
Hmm.
that was my first time. But ever since then, like I got to go to one WrestleMania, and I was in the cheap seats, but I was ecstatic because that was when Roman Reigns and The Undertaker were facing each other. And I was
Hmm.
like, yeah, this is going to be the quote unquote last Undertaker match. And I was like, huh, even though it should have been Bray Wyatt to be the one to break the streak, but it's here nor there.
Huh.
Um,
That would still hurt.
yeah, very much. Just everything about Bray Wyatt hurts.
Yeah.
What is your biggest inspiration towards like wrestling?
So I know one is that I just so in those moments where I feel like I'm at, am I doing the right thing? Am I on the right track? I always remember, like, I know it's cliche, but I remember the younger version of me
Mm-hmm.
asking my mom every year for SmackDown versus Raw. And sometimes that'll be the only thing I get is SmackDown versus Raw. I'm cool with that. All right, I'm gonna go play games while everybody else playing with whatever they got. But
Yeah.
remembering that kid that asking for games every year, begging my mom to get tickets to WrestleMania, things like that. It's like if I stop, I will accomplish any of younger me's dreams. So I got to
Mm-hmm.
keep going. So like that, that's part of it. I have a good support system around me that motivates me. Whether it be family or close friends, they motivate me. Sometimes like at work, even people at work know that I wrestle. So it's like they're just like, I come to work the next day. Oh man, you good? Yeah, I'm good. But like it's like that little checking on me is like, all right, at
Mm-hmm.
least somebody's paying attention. Even when I come home from shows at night, knock on my mom's door just to let her know I'm home safe.
Yeah.
So it's like that. Making it home is not promised. Even like after wrestling shows, because things can happen.
Mm-hmm.
Making it home is not promised. So it's like that's my motivation. To
So
do better. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, you're good. What did your family like when you said, "All right, I'm doing it. I got a wrestling school. I'm pursuing wrestling." What did your family and your friends like say or think?
So I feel like it was one of those scenarios where it was okay. Yeah, He's saying he's gonna go wrestle, and he says he wants to do all these things. But when that happens, all right, cool. But
Mm-hmm.
until then, I they were telling me to go to college first, and I'm not stunting on not stunting. I'm sorry, wrong word there. I'm not digressing education. If college is for you, and seeking your higher education is for you, by all means go for it. But wrestling is what I was locked in on. So when they were telling me, hey, go here first, I was listening, but I was like, I'm gonna wrestle.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were saying, maybe do wrestling afterwards. Like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna wrestle.
Mm-hmm.
But now that I've started and they see my progress, like my mom and my parents were at my first match, along with one of my aunts and my brothers and sisters. Um, and then I think all but one of my brothers, he lives out of state. So,
Okay.
but yeah, all of my siblings have seen me wrestle. It's like they've been supportive. Like I said, ever since I've started doing it, and they've seen me win, this championship or that championship or whatever the case may be. They're 100% supportive.
I love that. Um, so what do you believe is the hardest part about wrestling? The mental part or the physical part?
That's a good question. I don't know if I could pick one because, like I was saying earlier, you have those mental days where you're wondering, if you're doing the right thing
Mm-hmm.
or if you're good enough at what you're doing. And then those physical days, there's moments where sometimes your real life bleeds into this character you're portraying. So it's like, yeah, you're seeing in the ring, unstoppable or whatever, or however you're perceived. But a few hours before that, you might have just left work and work might have dragged everything that could out of you, and now you gotta pull this energy together to go perform because work doesn't care about wrestling, and then wrestling don't care about work. So you gotta,
Hmm.
from the physical standpoint, you gotta be built for it.
Yeah, I after seeing the Leon Slater incident at
Mm,
Rebellion, like that brought me back to when I dove out the ring, and I just simply dove out of the ring, not on top of anything, and
mm-hmm,
someone didn't catch me, and I just hit the cement. Like that took me back to that,
mm,
and like I tell a lot of people that mentally you have to like being on the road, missing like certain things with family and friends, having to give up sometimes on relationships. That
mm-hmm.
can be daunting. And then, like you said, am I doing the right thing? And trying to get out of your head when you see other people, like your peers and stuff, getting opportunities that you like, man, I should have got that, blah, 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 blah. Those are definitely hard. But then everybody has what we call their bump card, and you never know when your bump card's going to run out, but
Right.
eventually it is, and that sometimes can take a mental like hit on you as well. Because for me, I had to quit actively wrestling because I woke up one day, I couldn't really walk and I couldn't breathe, and I hadn't been doing any wrestling for 3 months because I'm the type of person, I'm gonna take a break. If my body tells me I need to take a break, I'm gonna take a break.
Yeah.
But when that happened, like everything mentally just went down the drain. Physically, I was like, I can't do it anymore. I was jaded. I had to get out of wrestling. Like I wasn't watching wrestling. I wasn't going to shows, and it took into doing my podcast with my brother and my cousin that just brought that resurgence back in. And that was about
Mm-hmm.
2019 when I started getting back in and starting going back to indie shows. And that's my favorite thing is going to indie shows. Those are fun.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to ask. A lot of people don't know about indie wrestling. They only know WWE, sometimes TNA, AEW. What do you believe is the greatest thing about indie wrestling?
So this new wave of independent wrestling, I like it to where now some of the bigger stars in WWE and TNA they get the chance to come down. Well, I don't want to say come down to again to degrade independent wrestling. Um, but when they get to come to the shows that are not on TV,
Hmm.
but at the same time they're still in these big venues. So for example, Bloodsport, Josh Barnett's Bloodsport. Um, Jonathan Gresham was is one of my big inspirations as of late. So to see him in that setting, because I feel like they have more freedom
Yeah.
in that setting. So with that being said, they can pull out even more cool stuff that they may not get the chance to do on TV. I got to see Jonathan Gresham at Bloodsport, Charlie Dempsey, William Regal's son, Pete Dunne, like I'm again, there's it's back to that WrestleMania 27 feeling. Like the ring is right there. I can see the ring. It's right there, and I'm seeing these amazing athletes who, like I said, I look up to, and I try to do what I can to mimic their style or whatever the case may be. But the fact that situations like that can happen in this time frame, I know it happened. I know it's been happening for years. However, I feel like it's at its best now,
Hmm.
and it's at its biggest now with their traveling all around. Even Natty's match, Shayna Baszler, like that really. I was already a fan of Shayna,
Yeah.
but seeing her in Bloodsport last year in Philly, that was really like wow.
Hmm.
She's a. I knew she was good before, but like now she's great in my eyes.
Yeah.
Same thing for Natty.
Like with Natty going to Bloodsport, she's from the Heart Dungeon, so you have to be like tough, like
Right.
just to get through that. But seeing Natty in Bloodsport, I like, yes, this is the Natty that I really love to see. And now they're doing stuff for like she has the match for the NWA title.
Mm-hmm.
And like I always tell people that going to see a WWE, AEW, the major promotions is amazing, but they're also extremely expensive. So say you have like a family of four. I always try to push people go to the indie wrestling shows because one, they're affordable, and then you never know who you might see at the indie show, like somebody from the major promotions, but
Hmm.
also you never know like the person that you're watching that's just from that show might make it to the big times. So you can be like, oh, I know him from this. I saw him when he was just getting his start, and you get to
Yeah.
see that comeuppance.
So
And
and I feel like I have so Austin Theory, he's from we trained at the same place, WWA 4 out of Atlanta. Shout out to the four. I love those guys. But Austin Theory, I got to see him just I think this was during his Evolve days.
mm-hmm.
I think it was a show that some shows that I started going to just to try to find what was India about Atlanta. Um, Went to the four and I saw him again in this natural setting where he doesn't have to be this big gigantic superstar that he is on TV and he can be around the guys and all that. So it's like just to further your point, more independent wrestling should be watched.
So you train at the four. I've
Yes, sir.
interviewed tons of people, Neji, the Killionaires Club, because they were here in Indianapolis for Naptown Combat crossover or combat,
Hmm.
and I asked all of them, how is it training with AR Fox? Who AEW? If you watch this, you need to like push this man because AR Fox is the effing man.
Yes. It's a really great experience being trained by Fox. I always tell people, in past interviews I've done, Fox is the type of trainer to not shoot down your idea. Let's say
Mm-hmm.
have a movie you want to do, not shoot down your idea, but how can we make it better? Or how can we make it connect to whatever your character is more? Or, if you want to swing him this way, maybe it not that's just bad, but maybe you should you'll maybe get a better reaction. Or
Mm-hmm.
it'll look cooler if you hit it this way. And so, he'll meet you halfway and then he notices the hard work that people put in. That's another good thing. He notices the hard work, excuse me, promotes hard work. He's all for like another favorite thing of mine he does is that when we get a new student, if they want to work on headlock takeovers that day, it's not just the new student doing this, everybody doing it. So everybody gets reps in on the basic stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like a lot of people, focus on the 630s and all that stuff. And that's great. That's cool. I love flips off the top rope. However, a headlock is important.
Mm-hmm.
Chaining is important. All the little stuff, the bits and pieces, those are important. So that's shout out Fox, man.
Yeah, big shout out. I see because I have you guys. I've heard about. I'm new about AR Fox for years, but and then I've just recently started following you guys at school on Instagram and everything and Twitter, and I see just some of the drills that he puts together, and I'm like, whoo,
Yeah.
those. I look at him like, at first turn, I'm kind of like, yo,
Hmm.
might give up. But how does he like approach those type of drills and like asking you guys to do it with him? Because I know my trainer
Uh,
would just say, "Don't be a little bitch," and then that usually got me into.
I mean, essentially, like that is the spirit he tries to put in us. He's like he let's say he does the drill and as athletic and agile and put together he is. He'll do the drill fast. Boom, 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 boom. All right, your turn. Like of course, like if we need to, walk it to get it memorized, yeah, that's one thing. But he was like, all right, not he's not putting limitations on anybody,
Hmm.
in the aspect of nah, you don't look like you can do it. He say, all right, go for it. And it's like that's the part where a lot of our students we have like surprising athleticism.
Hmm.
Like we might not look like we can do something, but oh snap, he can pull off that Pele kicker,
Yeah,
pull off that up and over, whatever the case may be.
nice. how would you describe your ring style and how has it evolved over time?
So when I started, I really wanted to be. So one thing I've learned about myself is that I have to play to your strengths type of
Hmm.
deal. So there were some moves, and I can't remember them right after that, but there were some moves that I had in my brain when I first started training. That now that I realize, okay, yes, that's cool, and yes, that's what I wanted to do, but at the same time, it might not fit my character right now, or it might not make sense to me, or I wanted to do this lift up move, but I don't have it to lift up said person or X Y
Hmm.
Z to execute the move safely. But lately I've been leaning more into trying to be a technician, but mainly like I Taz is one of my favorites of all time. So I try to mimic the suplexes. I think last year at Naptown, not last year, I'm sorry. Um, it was either last year or year before last at Naptown. Had the Halloween Battle Royal, and I came out as Taz. All I did was, yeah, I think it was four other people in there. Suplexed all four of them, different variations.
Yeah.
Stood there, did the shoulders, Taz pose, chest out, did that, got eliminated. That's all I needed, and it was like that clicked for me. Like you gotta find. It took some time to get to where I am now,
Hmm.
as far as finding suplexes that click for me, and or just even finding the suplex in general. But literally, J Rose came up to me after that show. And was like, "All right, from now on, you're Taz." And I know he didn't mean change my name to Taz and
Yeah,
shave
yeah,
my
yeah.
hair and do that, but that style clicked for me that day at Naptown. So it's like that's where, and now I'm learning to again learn what suplexes work for me. See if I can find different variations, different suplex variations, or see if I can come up with something on my own, just something to stand out.
Hmm.
Um, in that aspect. So yeah, that's me. I'm also trying. I like doing kick. RBD is another one of my favorites. I'm not athletic as he is. Not
Who
afraid to
is?
admit that. However, I like doing the good frog splash. I love a good enziguri. So that's a mix of my style.
Okay. Um, how do you stay motivated while traveling show to show and getting little to no rest?
I think yeah, I think I touched on that earlier. It just I know what the goal is. I know if I'm traveling somewhere, I'm like, yes, this is a 8 hour road trip or 3 hour road trip, but wrestling's on the other side of it.
Hmm.
Like, yes, this car ride is dragging. We're tired, all that. We would much rather be at home in our beds, but we're chasing these dreams, and wrestling is on the other side of it. And then once we get to wrestle, then we can get to think about that. Home is home is on the other end of this 4 hour trip back,
Yeah.
or 8 hour trip back, or 2 hour, 3 hour flight back.
Um, oh man, I just forgot the question that I had in my mind.
No.
Oh, yes, traveling. So, what is the best advice that you've been given, like in wrestling? Because I know in the car rides, you spend however many hours in there, and you're usually just talking. But like, what's some of the best advice you've been given?
One I can say is maximize your minutes. Um, I've been in a match where it's been three. I've been had tryout matches where it's 3 minutes, and then I believe the longest I've gone is I say like between 25 and 27.
Hmm.
So no matter how long you're out there, even if you got a small spot, big spot, whatever the case may be, you know, make those few minutes or those few seconds that you're in the ring or the spotlight's on you, make it mean something. And
Yeah,
don't do anything that doesn't make sense or that's not gonna lead to benefit you in any way or lead to something else.
that makes a lot of sense. Um, how much time do you think, on average, and just in a week, you spend on wrestling?
Because I'm constantly so I used to be so when I was younger, I'd have those moments where, I'd see if the computer was free upstairs and
Hmm.
I'd go on YouTube and just be typing in stuff, typing in wrestling related stuff and just watching stuff. So now I'm in that mode where, as a performer, I'm just thinking, something to just come to my mind. Ooh, I know I do this move. But what about this one? And I go on YouTube and I get stuck in a rabbit hole there. So it's like I have those time period. I can't place a time on it, but I just have those time periods throughout the day
Hmm.
where I just think about a move, especially like on show days. All right, what do I want to do later? All right, has anybody done this yet? Let me go look it up on YouTube. Then I get stuck in another rabbit hole.
I know because I work at a hospital, and a lot of my coworkers just think that I'm just crazy because I'll be pantomiming moves. They'll be like, ah, bah, bah, da, 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 da. Like, what are you doing? It's like, don't mind me. I'm just pantomiming like wrestling. And again, I haven't
Hmm.
been in a wrestling match in almost 10 years. And it's like
Right,
I'm still like I get that urge to want to do stuff because it's such an amazing thing to be in the ring. But it's like I just come up with spots. I'm like, I think that'd be a good spot. It's something I've never seen before, or if I have, there's ways to improve the spot. So I'm constantly like doing that, and I want to get back into like helping train people because if I can't do it, I know there's somebody who can.
right. Yeah, I have those moments myself where I have to realize where I am because I know I look crazy. Like you were saying, I know I look crazy. Um, to the outside eye, because sometimes like I'll start forearming a wall. Like if I'm just standing there bored, with bored at work, start forearming a wall, thinking the spots in my head, acting them out, then I realize, oh snap, these people don't know that I'm wrestling or I'm a wrestler or whatever the case
Hmm.
may be. So to them, it just looks like I'm just crashing out over here on the side. But I'm really thinking of what I'm finna do in this match tonight,
Yeah.
or next week, this weekend, whatever the case.
So, how did you come up with the wrestling name Travis 3000?
So another family mentioned here. My grandma, my mother's mom. When I was first born, let me backtrack. My full government name, hopefully nobody is listening to this that will try to steal my ID, but full government name, Jared Paul Allen, right?
Hmm.
So my first time at church when I'm younger, and my grandma introduces me as her newest grandson, Travis. And so my mom is like, my mom is like livid at my grandmother because that's nowhere near my name at all. Like there's I think I have every letter in Travis in my actual name, with the
Yeah.
exception of T and V. But yeah, that was completely. My mother was livid, but at the same time, my family gave me that nickname.
Hmm.
So it's like they were calling me before I even started wrestling as a joke. They would call me Travis. They would get together for family dinner. Oh, I'm sorry, my language. But
Don't
yeah,
worry
they
about
would. Whenever we got to family dinner, hey Travis, how you doing, Travis? Um, so it's like that's a little piece of home that I wanted to keep with me. And then also another piece of fun is that I love Outkast. So I feel like because Outkast is one of the best groups, of all time in Atlanta. Shout out to their Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction. But that was another little piece of home I can take with me is
it.
that 2000 from Andre and go Travis 3000, boom. And that's another one of those things where it's like I'm filtering through names before I even start wrestling. Filtering through names. All right, what sounds good? What sounds marketable? How we look on gear, all that.
Hmm.
And Travis 2000 is what clicked for me.
Yeah, I went through so many names when I first started. I believe because I was in the Air Force that my first name was AF Bernie, and I was like, whew, that's not clicking. And then, but two of my favorite wrestlers who people say I looked like them when I was wrestling was Bad News Brown and D'Lo Brown. And D'Lo
Hmm.
Brown's Frog Splash was always my favorite. I used to always
Yeah.
love doing the little head thing. So I was like, I can take CT Brown because my name is CT. So I was like, I don't want to go by my last name because I don't need people knowing too much about me. And once
Right.
if I get to the feds, if they like, hey, you can keep your name, but we own it, I can still go back and like, oh, if I'm going back to the Indies, then I can use my real last name, and I still have that. So, but CT Brown just off the tongue just sounded so much better,
Yeah, I
and
like it.
it's taking from two people who I thoroughly enjoy, Bad News Brown, who just a fucking badass, and then D'Lo Brown, who was just an amazing person. Like I've met him a few times when working for TNA, and he was just always just an extremely nice guy.
Shout out Douglas Brown.
Yes. What's your approach to selling and making your opponent look good?
So I like to be dramatic.
Mm,
And that not even just wrestling. Like sometimes wrestling will bleed over into my real life. I've gotten bumped at work, where like my manager may actually, shoulder bump me or whatever, and I'll fly all over the room.
yeah.
Um, and then it's like also I'm the youngest of six. So one sister under me, and then my brothers above me. But bringing that all back around to say like we all joke and laugh around the house, play fight around the house. Like my some of my brothers are wrestling fans. I'll say all of them are wrestling fans. Like they like Sting, brother Triple H,
Mm-hmm.
Undertaker. Just like we will always play wrestle around the house. And as I'm doing the play wrestle, I'm acting like what I see on TV.
Yeah.
If they doing this big fallout on TV, that's what I'm gonna do while I'm play fighting with my brothers. So that just carried over. Of course, it took some time to perfect it to where, as a performer, where it needed to be as a performer.
Mm-hmm.
However, like I said, I just love being dramatic, and then I've also learned, the better I make them look, it's a I scratch your back, you scratch mine.
Yeah.
The better I make you look, that's the better it makes me look.
That makes tons of sense. That was my always my favorite thing. Like I loved being a heel, but being a face was so much fun. Hold on, I got somebody calling me. Why are you calling me? Uh, but I loved like I probably could. I can't do all the flying things, but the one thing I can do, I can be a good base and I can sell my ass off. I love making people look good because if they look good, I look good. And I remember getting a spot on what was it? It was one of the WNN shows. And my thing was all I had to do was sell my ass off for these big guys. Like you said, maximize your minutes. I
Yeah.
got in there, it was like a 1 minute squash match.
Hmm.
Did the job. Hey, you guys made them look amazing. And that's always been like fun. And I hate it sometimes where people, especially when I was wrestling in Florida, they're like, "Oh, I can't be the bad guy. I don't like people to boo me. I want people to cheer me." I'm like, it's if you shouldn't worry if you're not getting any reaction.
Yeah,
Like
that's
the
a
time I wrestled in
disservice.
Atlanta, I got no reaction. It was horrible. So
Mm, my condolences.
bad. But it is like being a, it doesn't matter if you're being a heel or being a face, like people, especially now, people love heels.
Hmm.
So it's like you're gonna get hate, but people aren't necessarily hating on you because you're a heel. People have now gotten to the mindset like we understand what is going on and we want to participate in what's going on. And
Right.
it used to irk me when that would happen. They're like, no, I can't do this. Or people politicking. People politic.
Yeah. So it's like when we have get the chances to wrestle in places where our family and friends are, and
Mm-hmm.
you got auntie and uncle and mom and dad and your homeboy from the third grade in the crowd. Everybody wants to be the good guy. I want to get all these moves in front of my mom or in front of whoever. Like you said, I like doing both, but I enjoy being a healer. I'll be baby face, but it's like I've been heel in front of my brother. Like my brother watched me low blow somebody while the ref was turned around to win a match. So it's like
Yeah.
you gotta, and then it's like we were saying earlier, it makes the other person look good. That's what gets you brought back to
Yeah.
these places. Because
I
yes, you might be brought in for this purpose to make whoever look good, but they can say, all right, since you made our champion look good, why don't you come on back and you can fight in this match and maybe you can win this one.
hmm I used to tell my siblings sometimes they've only seen me wrestle a handful of times, but I'm like, hey, when I come out, do not cheer for me. I want you to be rude as hell and just try to make fun of me the same way y'all made fun of me when we were kids when I wanted to become a wrestler. Keep that
Right.
same energy.
I'm
And
still your little brother in this ring.
yeah,
Nigga. Yeah.
but it is what it is. Before I let you go, I'm gonna hit you with some real quick questions, some rapid fire questions. The first thing that comes to your mind, spit it out. Favorite wrestler,
RVD.
favorite wrestling match that you've watched.
Favorite wrestling match I just watched. Jonathan Gresham and Zack Sabre at Bloodsport.
What is your favorite TV show?
The Office.
Favorite character from The Office?
I can't think of these people's names right now. Oh, I'm embarrassed. Stanley.
How do you feel about them doing the Office remake? Or yeah, they're doing a remake of
As
it.
as long as it's done right, I'm okay with it. I'll be there.
Favorite comfort food?
This is gonna sound really bad, but maybe
What move what finisher do you wish you would have created?
the German suplex, just because everybody uses it.
And the last one, what is your favorite thing to do on your day off?
Like
Hey, can't go wrong with sleeping.
I will listen. If there was a world title for sleeping, I'd have it.
I mean, that is a job. It's a mattress tester, so just saying.
I'm gonna get on Google. So as I'm gonna head to
but
Google right after this.
but I appreciate you being on the show. Hopefully we get to talk again. Next time you're up in Naptown, definitely hit me up. And I know I'm supposed to be going to Florida and Georgia soon, so I'll definitely hit you up and so I can make it to one of your shows. But
Yes, sir.
again, thank you for being on the show, and I will talk to you another day.
Thank you for having me, sir. And then I'll be up on Naptown on the 17th of next
Of
month.
Oh, well, yeah, Robert, before I let you go, um, let us know your social medias and other shows that you're going to be a part of.
Instagram and Twitter, it's Travis3000, no underscores, no nothing. It's Travis3000 on Instagram and Twitter. Show I'm at right now at BWA. We're up here at the THC Chill Lounge in the Beltline. That starts at 8 tonight. And then I'll be in Stone Mountain, Georgia tomorrow night. Um, like I said, Naptown on the 17th. I'm always excited to go to Naptown, so those are my upcoming dates.
All right. Sounds good. Again, thank you for being on the show, and I'll probably see you on the 17th.
Yes, sir.
Have a good one.
Deuces.